All right, we are on to Act 3. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so that you guys can go ahead and get started with it. All right, so let's get ready for Act 3 of Macbeth. Now, remember, let's go back. Let's see if I can get to it first. Okay, so I want to remind you of what happens in Act 2. So remember, Act 2, at the very end of that, that is where we have where the king's sons, the princes, um, have of course found out that their father has been killed and they flee the country. Okay. And Macduff tells Ross that Macbeth will soon be king. Okay. And Macduff really thinks that the sons have killed their own father. So they left the country out of guilt. That's what he thinks. So we see Macduff, he is very keen to what's happening. All right. So let's move on to Act 3. All right. Scene 1. All right. We have our first image, which is a candle and a dagger with blood. All right. And it reads, now you have it. You are king, Thane of Calder and Thane of Glamis, just as the weird women promised. And I fear that foul play was involved. But it was also prophesied that your family line would not keep the crown and that my sons and grandsons would become king instead. The witches tell the truth, which they have for you. Then why shouldn't I believe their words? But hush, I'll say no more. So we see here that Banquo is talking to himself and he is suspicious about what has happened. Okay. So we see that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are here with the coronation where Macbeth has been crowned king. Here's our most important guess. If it had been forgotten, our greatest feast would be incomplete. It would be entirely unsuitable. Tonight we hold a ceremonial banquet, and your presence is requested. Whatever your highness commands me to do, it is my eternal duty to obey. Do you ride this afternoon? Yes, my good lord. I would have liked to have heard your good advice, which has always been sober and beneficial, at the council today, but I will wait till tomorrow. Do you ride far? Far enough that I will be riding from now until dinner. Unless my horse gets faster than expected, I will be back an hour or two after sunset. Do not miss our feast. My lord, I will not. I hear that the bloody princes have hidden themselves in England and Ireland. They do not confess their cruel patricide. Now, patricide means killing your father. So, um, this is, of course, Macbeth acting like he doesn't know what happened. So, he's doing all of that here, right? And he's really playing the role with Banquo. All right, they do not confess their cruel patricide, but instead fill the ears of their listeners with strange fictions. But more of that tomorrow, when we'll discuss matters of the state that concern us both. Hurry to your horse. Adieu, till you return all at night with Fleance. Will Fleance travel with you? Yes, my good lord, our journey awaits us. May your horses be swift and sure-footed. And with that, I will send you to them. Farewell. All right, so this is the conversation that Banquo and Macbeth are having. All right, let's see what happens next. Everybody may do as they please till 7 o'clock tonight. I will keep myself till supper time so that your company then will seem even sweeter. To then, to then, God be with you. All right, so as we can see, people are leaving the banquet at this time. Boy, a word with you. Are those men waiting for me? Yes, my lord, outside the palace gates. Bring them to me. To be king is nothing if my position is not secure. My fear of Banquo hits me deep. He has an ability of nature that I fear. He's willing to take risk, and along with a bold mind, he has the wisdom to match his bravery with caution. I fear none but him. He makes my guardian angel tremble, as Octavius Caesar did Mark Antony's. He chided the witches when they first called me king, bidding them to speak to him. Then, prophet like, they told him he would be father to a lot of kings. They gave me a crown and a scepter that will wither with me. So he's saying, hey, this crown is going, I'm going to die with this crown. Banquo is not about, his son's not about to get this crown. So he's having a soliloquy, as we can see here, where he's speaking to himself and thinking about where Banquo is fitting in, and that Banquo is just too trustworthy, and he's gonna mess up or try to take Macbeth's seat. All right, let's continue reading here. Power will be wrenched from my hand by a stranger, not a son of my own. If this is true, then I have defiled my mind and murdered the gracious Duncan for Banquo's son. I've ruined my own peace for their benefit. I've given my soul, that everlasting jewel, to the devil so that they might be kings. The seeds of Banquo, kings? Fate, I challenge you. Come and I will batter you to the death. Who's there? Now, you boy, go to the door and stay there till I call. Wasn't it just that we spoke yesterday? Yes, it was. So please, Your Highness. Well, then you've had time to consider what I said. You know that it was Banquo who brought you misfortune in the past, not me, whom you had blamed. I showed you the proof at our last meeting. I showed you how you'd been deceived and thwarted. I showed you who worked against you and with what instruments. I offered you so much proof that even a half-wit or a madam would have to say, Banquo did this. You showed us. I did, and more besides, which is the point of our second meeting. Are you so patient and forgiving that you can let this go? Are you so pious that you would pray for this man and his children, a man who has pushed to an early grave and ensured your own children will be poor forever? We are men, my lord. Yes, you belong to the species of men, just as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, mutts, lapdogs, swimming dogs, and demi-wolves are all classified as dogs. But if you rank dogs by their qualities, you can distinguish which breeds are fast or slow, which are clever, which are house dogs, and which are hunters. Each dog may be classified according to the natural gifts that distinguish it from other dogs, and so it is with men. Now, if you belong to the species of men and are not in its bottom ranks, tell me, and I will plan a scheme in you that will rid you of your enemy and bring you closer to me. As long as this man lives, I'm sick, but if he were dead, I would be in the most perfect health. My lord, I've been so mistreated by the world, I'll do anything to spite it. And I as well. I am so weary of disaster and bad fortune. I will risk my life on any chance either to mend it or be rid of it. You both know Banquo was your enemy. It is true, my lord. Well, I hear he's mine as well. I bear such bloody hatred toward him that every minute he's alive eats away at my heart. And though I could use my royal power simply to sweep him off the earth, I cannot, or we have common friends that I cannot alienate. Instead, I must wail in public for the man I must have killed. And this is why I solicit your help. I must hide your business from the public eyes for many reasons. So we see Macbeth's ambition is driving him to basically be conniving and to deceive and to really betray his own friend. And so he has these men that obviously are poor and they're willing to do anything to get revenge. And he is putting thoughts into their minds so that they will get rid of Banquo. We'll perform what you command us, my lord, though our lives. Yes, yes, I can see this in your eyes. Within the hour, I will show you where to plant yourself and exactly when to strike. It must be done tonight, away from the palace. Always remember that I must be free from suspicion. And to make this plan perfect, Banquo's son Fleance must embrace his father's dark fate. Go consider all this. I will come to you soon. We have already considered it, my lord. I'll wait for you soon. Wait inside. I'll call for you soon. Wait inside. It's done, Banquo. If your soul will find heaven, it must find it tonight. All right, so we see here, he says, hey, if you're going to die, you're going to die tonight. Now, I want you to notice something. Here, Macbeth says that Fleance must also embrace the same fate as his father, so he must also die. All right, so he has this in mind. Okay. All right, and that was Act 2, Scene 1. All right, let's go to Act 2, Scene 2 and see what happens in this scene. Has Banquo left for the court? Yes, madam, but he returns tonight. Go tell the king that I wish a few words with him. Madam, I will. To have the thing you desire but feel no satisfaction for it, why then you have spent all to gain nothing. Safer to be the thing destroyed than the destroyer whose joy is racked by anxiety. So we see Lady Macbeth looking at Macbeth. How is it with you, my lord? Why do you keep yourself with only your sad thoughts for company? Those thoughts should have died with the man you think of. That which cannot be remedied shouldn't be lingered over. What's done is done. We have slashed the snake, not killed it. She will heal and revive and will be threatened by her fangs once again. But the universe can break apart, heaven and earth can crumble before I'll eat my meals in fear or let these terrible dreams that shake me nightly ruin and sleep. So once again, they have what they want, but they are not satisfied because they are really still in fear. Better to be with the dead whom we killed than endure this torture of the mind, this frantic restlessness. Duncan is in the grave, through with the fever of life. He sleeps well. Treason did him in, and now nothing can touch him, neither swords nor poison, rebellion, invasion, nor anything else. Come, my gentle lord, compose yourself. Be bright and jovial with your guest tonight. So will my love, and I pray that you do the same. Give Banquo your special attention. Do him honor, but with your looks, both with your looks and your words. As long as we're in danger of exposure, we must flatter him and mask our hearts. You must stop talking like this. Oh, my dear wife, my mind is full of scorpion-like thoughts. You know that Banquo and Fleance still live, but they won't do so forever. There's comfort in that. So be merry before the bat flies and the dung beetle rings in the night with his drowsy hums. A dreadful deed will be done. What deed is this? Better that you are innocent, dear heart, until the deed is done and you can applaud it. Come night and blindfold the tender-hearted day with your bloody and invisible hand. Tear up the contract of Banquo's life which keeps me in fear. The sky grows dark and the crow flies home to the ricky wood. The gentle creatures of the day begin to nod and drowse, while predators of the night rouse to seek their prey. You look surprised at my words, but do not question me yet. Bad deeds strengthen themselves with further evil. So I pray, go with me. So it's interesting because Macbeth now doesn't want to tell his wife what he's planning to do next, but he's taking on some of the roles that, or the role that his wife initially did. And once again, we see down here that nature is still taking on its role, right? Okay. All right, so that was our Act 2, Scene 2. Okay, and now we're going to move on to Act 2, Scene 3. All right, so just to clarify, we are in Act 3, Scene 3. So let's go there now. All right, so we see the two murderers and we see they are approaching. Okay, we see who sees them. Okay, and we're here. But who sent you to join us, Macbeth? We need not mistrust him. He was given exactly the same orders we were. Then stand watch with us. The sky still has some streaks of daylight. Travelers are hurrying to reach their ends, and Banquo is almost here. Listen, I hear horses. Thud, thud. Oh, give us some light here. That must be him. The rest of the king's guests are already inside. His horses are being taken around to the stables. It's almost a mile from here to the palace gate, but Banquo, like the other men, chooses to walk. Okay, so we see Banquo and Fleance. Here comes a light, a light. It is he. Prepare yourselves. It will rain tonight. Then let the rain come down. All right, so we see a sword fight going on, or a knife fight. Wow. So here we see he's stabbed. Oh, treachery, fly, good Fleance, fly, fly. Someday you may revenge, oh villain. Fleance, his name is perfect because he flees. End of that. Who struck out the light? Was that the plan? There's only one body here. The sun has fled. We have failed in half our mission. Well, let's be gone to tell Macbeth what we did accomplish. At this point, you could be saying, I know how Macbeth is going to feel, right? Because they killed Banquo, but not Fleance. And so here we have a prophecy that's possibly fulfilled, right? So far, the witch's prophecies have been true. All right, let's go to scene 4. Act 3, scene 4. We see there at the banquet. You all know your ranks, so please sit. From the highest to the lowest, I bid you a hearty welcome. Thanks to your majesty. As for our royal self, we will mingle among you and play the humble host. Our queen keeps to her chair of state, but soon we will bid her rise to welcome you all. Say welcome to our friends for me, for in your heart they are all welcome. And their hearts respond to you with thanks. The table is full on both sides, so I'll sit here in the middle, be free and merry. Soon we will drink around the table. There's blood upon your face. It's Banquo's then. Better splatter on your face than flowing through his veins. Is he finished? Okay, so we see Macbeth is speaking to one of the murderers. My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him. You are the best of the cutthroats. Whoever did the same to Fleance is also worthy. And if you killed both, then you are the champion. Most royal sir, Fleance has escaped. Now the fever of fear comes again. Otherwise, I would have been perfect, solid as marble, firm as rock, free as the air itself. But now I'm cramped and closed, confined, my doubts and fears. But Banquo is secured? Yes, my good lord, secured in a ditch with 20 deep gashes in his head, each one certain of death. Thanks for that. The grown serpent lies there dead, But the young worm that escaped will breed his venom, given time, but now he has no fangs. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we will speak with you again. My royal lord, you do not entertain your guests. You must assure them that you are welcome, otherwise they'll fear as if they've paid for this feast. If they simply wanted to eat, they would have done that at home. Away from home, they need some ceremony to flavor their dishes. Meals are plain without it. Thanks. Thank you for the reminder, my sweet. I wish you all good health, good appetite, and good digestion. Why don't we have a seat, Your Highness? All right. Now I want you to see, I don't know if you guys can tell who this is, but there's something interesting happening here. If Banquo were here, then all the nobility of Scotland would be gathered under one roof. I hope that he is late out of simple rudeness and not because of some misfortune. He breaks his promise to you with this absent. If it pleases you, Your Highness, graces with your royal company. The table's full. Here's an empty chair, sir. Where? Here, my good lord. What's wrong, Your Highness? Now, do you all notice someone sitting in that chair? Who do you think that is? All right, let's see if Macbeth can tell. Which one of you has done this? What, my good lord? You cannot say I did it. Don't shake your bloody head at me. All right, so of course he sees dead Banquo and it's Banquo's ghost. You have to envision that Banquo is shaking his head at Macbeth. And this is what Macbeth sees. He sees Banquo's ghost. Gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often like this and has been since he was a child. I pray stay seated. His fits are brief. In a moment, he will be well again. If you pay too much attention to him, you will offend him and make him even worse. Eat and regard him not. Are you a man? Yes, and a bold one who dares look upon that which would frighten the devil. Oh, what nonsense. This is just another hallucination born of your fear, like the floating dagger that led you to Duncan. These outbursts of yours don't even resemble true fear. You act as if you weren't listening to a woman. You act as if you were listening to a woman's story at a winter fire, sitting next to her grandmother. Shame on you. Why do you make these faces when the vision passes? You will see that it's just an empty chair. So she like, boy, look, there's nothing there. You hallucinate. Okay. She had to pull her husband aside to try to get him right. For God's sake, look there. Behold, look, I see. What do you have to say? What do I care? If you can nod, then speak too. If tombs and graves will return our dead, then why do we bother burying them? Our coffins should be vultures' bellies. He sees Banquo and the fire. She pulls her husband aside again, Lady Macbeth. What paralyzed by your foolishness? As I stand here, I saw him. Nonsense. Much blood was shed in ancient times before there were laws to keep the peace, and since that time, murders have been committed. Yes, too terrible to speak of. It used to be that when a man's brains were knocked out, he would die, and that would be the end. But now they rise again with 20 fatal wounds on their heads to push off our chairs. This is a stranger than a murder. My worthy lord, your noble friends miss your company. Ah, I forget my duties. Don't be alarmed, my most worthy friends. I have a strange disorder which no longer shocks those who know me so well. Come, drink, love, and health to you all. And I'll sit, give me some wine, fill my cup. He sees Banquo's ghost. I drink to the happiness of the entire table and to our friend Banquo, whom we miss. If only he were here to all and to him we drink. Hear, hear. Be gone and get out of my sight. Get back in your grave. Your marrow bones are marrowless. Your blood is cold. You stare at me with those eyes that have no power to set. Good friends, think of this as nothing more than a strange habit. It is nothing is simply supposed the pleasure of our company. What other man dares, I will dare. Approach me like a rugged bear, like an armed rhinoceros, like a seething tiger. Take any shape other than the one you will now, and I will stand firm, or else be alive again and challenge me with your sword. If I tremble, then call me a baby of a girl. Away, horrible spirit, false mockery, away. So obviously, we still see Macbeth is crazy still, right? He still sees Banquo's ghost, and he's saying, if you were only any other um, in any other vision. Like if he were a rhinoceros, that would be better than him being um, Banquo. So we see Macbeth. Why now that is it gone. I am now a man again. Please remain seated. You have disrupted our good cheer with the spectacle of your illness. Can such things happen without astonishing us? You make me feel as if I don't know myself when I see you beholding these terrible sights without losing the color in your cheeks when mine has gone with fear. What sights, my lord? I pray you do not speak to him. He grows worse and worse, and questions will enrage him. Everyone, good night. Don't bother filing out by rank. Just go at once. Good night. May the king recover soon. A good night to you all. So we see the guests leaving. Macbeth is here, and Lady Macbeth is here. Blood will have blood, they say. The dead will have their revenge. Gravestones have been known to move and trees to speak to bring guilty men to justice. The cleverest murderers have been brought forth by the mystical signs made by crows and magpies. What is it? That time and one cannot tell if it is night or morning. What time is it? Okay. So much has happened that the guests are now leaving, and it is the middle of the morning, like midnight, like 2 o'clock in the morning, those types of times when you don't know if it's night or day. All right, let's continue. What do you make of the fact that Macduff refuses to come to me when I command him? Did you send for him, sir? It is a rumor, but I will send for him. In every lord's household, I have a servant paid to spy for me. Early tomorrow, I will go to the Weird Sisters. They will tell me more, for now I'm determined to know the worst that lies ahead. My own good is now my own concern. I have waded so far into the river of blood that even if I stop now, returning to the shore would be as hard as going forward. I have some schemes in mind which I must carry out before I can think about them too carefully. You haven't slept. Come, let's sleep these strange self delusions show that I need hardening. We are still children when it comes to crime. All right, so here, they're saying they're children, so which means they are not good at this thing. All right, a lot has happened in that scene, right? Act 3, scene 4, a lot happened. Macbeth was hallucinating, seeing Banquo's ghosts. People feel suspicious, I'm sure, about him talking and sharing all of that. He started to act more like his wife's, as they said, ruthless nature. And yeah, so some interesting stuff is going on now. All right, Act 3, Scene 5. So we see, of course, the thunderous weather, and we're back to the Weird Sisters. Remember, weird, Weird, right? But also it's a pun. So we know that weird, Wyrd, means fate. So these sisters are really affecting his fate, these witches. Okay. So here we have the witches again. What is wrong, Hecate? You look angry. Have I not a reason, you impudent hags? How dare you riddle with Macbeth? Now, remember, this is Hecate. Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft. So remember, she is over these witches. I'm your mistress. This is Hecate speaking. The source of your powers, the secret engineer of all evils. Why was I never called upon to play my part or demonstrate the glory of my powers? And what's worse, you've done all this for a spoiled child full of wrath and spite, who, like all men, acts only for himself and not for you. And yet you make amends to me? Be gone now, and tomorrow meet me at the Hell River, Akron. Macbeth will come there to learn his destiny. Bring your cauldrons and your spells, your charms, and everything else. I will now take to the air to spend this night crafting disaster and doom. Great events will strike down before noon. Upon the corner of the moon, there hangs a celestial drop of liquid. I'll catch it before it falls when distilled by magic. It will produce illusions to fool Macbeth, drawing him deeper into his own destruction. He will think himself greater than fate. He will mock death and think himself above wisdom, grace, and fear. And as you will all know, confidence is mankind's greatest enemy. So here we have Hecate giving us a monologue. So she's giving us a long speech and she's speaking to the other witches. So remember, that's a monologue. All right, very important. And she's talking about trying to how she was left out of the witch's um, cruel trick of fate, right? Come away, come away. Listen, I am called. My little spirit sits on a foggy cloud waiting for me. Shh. Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again. All right. And that was Act 3, Scene 5. Now let's move on to Act 3, Scene 6. Okay, so let's see what's going on. It seems we are the same mind, therefore you may draw your own conclusions. All I can say is that something strange is happening. Macbeth showed great concern for Duncan after he was dead, and the ever valiant Banquo went walking too late at night. If you like, you might assume that Fleance killed him, since he has fled the scene of the crime. Clearly, men should avoid leaving their houses too late at night. And who can help thinking how monstrous it was for Malcolm and Donovan to kill the gracious father? A damning crime. How it grieved Macbeth. Didn't he immediately kill those two delinquent guards in a pious rage? Wasn't that noble of him? Yes, and wise too. But we all would have been outraged to hear those two deny their crime. If it hadn't, if he hadn't, excuse me, if he had Duncan's sons in prison, which I hope to God won't happen, they would learn just how horrible a punishment is reserved for those who killed their fathers, as with Fleance. But enough of that. I hear that Macduff is out of the tyrant's favor, since he speaks his mind too plainly, and failed to appear at the feast. Sir, do you know where he hides himself? Duncan's son, Malcolm, whose birthright was stolen by the tyrant Macbeth, lives now at the English court. There, the saintly King Edward treats him so graciously that, despite his exile, Malcolm loses none of his dignity. Macduff has gone to England to ask Holy King Edward for aid. He wishes to form an alliance with the people of the Northumberland and their warlike lord Siward. Macduff hopes that with their help and the help of God above, we may once again put food on their tables, bring peace to our nights, drive bloody knives from our feasts and banquets, pay homage to a worthy king and enjoy our honors in freedom. Has he sent for Macduff and commanded him to return to Scotland? Our people yearn for all of this. Macbeth hears this, and it has angered him to the point of war. And Macduff gave the envoy a defiant "Sir, not I." Then the scrolling messenger rudely turned his back on Macduff, as if to say, "You'll regret the day you give me this answer." Alas, that may well urge Macduff to exercise caution and keep away from here. Oh, I wish some holy angel would fly to the court of England and tell Macduff that he must return quickly, or his country suffers under the cursed hand of a tyrant. I'll send my prayers. So let's talk about what's going on here. All right. We're going to go back to the summary, and we're just going to kind of sum up what happened here so you guys can have an idea of what happened. Okay. See if I can get back there for you guys. So obviously we see where this is definitely let me stop share for a moment. So remember, I told you Act 1 of the Shakespearean play is okay. So if you remember, I told you Act 1 is the exposition. Act 2 is the rising action, and Act 3 is the climax. Okay, so in this act, remember the climax is the turning point, is when we don't know what's going to happen next. So let's think of all the things that we don't know. We don't know how the people what they really think about Macbeth now, because he started seeing Banquo's ghost and he kind of gave away that he probably did something to Banquo. So we don't know what the people are going to do to Banquo. We don't know what's going to happen to Macbeth and Lady Macbeth at this point. We don't know what's going to happen when Macbeth sees the witches. We don't know what's going to happen to the king's sons, Malcolm and Donovan. We don't know what's going to happen. They're talking about Macduff, and they're saying that Macbeth is a tyrant, so we don't know anything about what's happening with Macduff. There's so many questions that you would have at this point. And so it's interesting because it's truly the climax, okay, of this play. All right. So I wanted to just have us look briefly at the end here so you can know. And so it tells you that this is Lennox, right? And Lennox is talking, right? It's Malcolm and it's Lennox, and he's questioning what's happening with Macbeth. Okay. The other thing we don't know, just looking at this summary, we don't know what Hecate has up her sleeve either. We don't know what's going to happen with Fleance. So there's a lot that we don't know at the end of this act. So we are at the point where next we're going to go to our falling action, right? And that is in Act 4. All right. So once again, thank you. Hope you enjoyed Act 3. It was juicy, y'all. There was so much that happened in Act 3. And I was a little tired because there was so much that happened. So much drama, right? No pun intended. Okay. So hope you enjoyed it. Do well and take care.